Let's go. Thomas coming in hot right out the gate, rocking the hat. Pretty excited that you could make it happen. Hopefully you had a good experience with it. If you did, if you didn't, let me know. Been fun to see a few of them pop around the internet. So as they come in, take a photo, share it with me. I appreciate it. Do a little live here, a little Tuesday Light live. First day of spring. Chris checking in, appreciate it. Let me know where you're checking in from if I don't know already. But we're just going to talk a little ball. I don't know about y'all, but I've been watching a lot of that World Baseball Classic. I don't know. I'm not necessarily sure exactly why, but it's been pretty fun. It's been good baseball. Going to spring training here in a little bit too, so maybe just got the baseball bug. But excited to talk some football. If you have questions, more or less about the draft, talk a little bit about maybe what I've got videos in store for the rest of the week. I kind of not got tired, but this time of year, sometimes I feel like, okay, I don't want to get feel like I'm bookended by just the guys who are draft eligible this year. So went back and watched a little Caleb Williams for later in the week today, and probably going to go do a little Drake May from UNC just to kind of get an idea, comparison, contrast maybe a little bit about the guys who are coming out this year. Caleb Williams, dog. Man, he's addictive to watch. He really is. Appreciate you guys letting me know, checking in. We got some Dallas. We got some Bay Area. Mountain View. The Lancers. Is that the Lancers? That's St. Francis, I think. Got Tennessee checking in. Appreciate it. Australia. Woo! Okay, Cody. I like it. Very cool. Well, now's the time. Never been a better time to get your questions in. As you come in, do me a favor. Hit me with your favorite emoji. Hit that like button. Do what you do. And we'll get this thing going. I appreciate the love from Australia. Oh, there we go. Of course. Miss Maisha coming in hot. From Diego. As always, appreciate you. Hope all's good. We got San Jose checking in. We got a bunch of pro days, I think, going on this week. I think I saw USC is going today. It looks like they hope that they get rained out. I'm not sure how you could possibly do a pro day in the rain, but maybe I'm just so California that I can't even think about it. My guy Cam checking in. Shaduri Sanders. I think I did. I know I did one. I'm going to guess if it's not available on the YouTube channel, it's on the Patreon community. I think I did a full game of his. I mean, obviously, big time prospect. I'm not necessarily sure I would classify him as like the top tier guys going into next year, but maybe I've only watched one game. Oh, Austria checking in. Throw another shrimp on the Barbie. I like it, Martin. Watched that movie recently. What's another movie that I watched recently that was random old guy movie? The Cable Guy. One of my sons is going to, what is it called? The Medieval Times. And there's an amazing line in that movie about medieval. There's an amazing scene in that movie. It's an old movie. It's not, I wouldn't say it's my favorite Jim Carrey movie, but it's probably my favorite Medieval Times scene in a movie. Boom. John, hey JT, got my cap on order. Appreciate you. In one word play calls, how do you differentiate between left, right, or weak, strong? Coming at you from Blackpool, England. Ooh, that's a very good question, John. It can be different things. I would say the vast majority of football world, American football world, would say any R sounding word or anything that starts on the, with an R or starts with an L is going to be right or left. Those types of things, or strong or weak. What did we do? The way that, and this kind of ties into one of the courses, the big course, the entire offense. I use kind of what would be the best way to describe it? Like the same techniques that quote unquote like memory competition people will use And really it's about understanding and having stories tethered into objects and places. So I would have stories tethered to, different places or names. And so those things, and then when that resonates with the players, they can visually see right or left because of the story and the object. So it's not the greatest answer, unfortunately. There's not like a one-off kind of hot topic. I think it really does dive into the guts of that course and that system that I love so much. So if you're interested, I recommend it to everybody. But it's one of my favorite things about it, the communication system and how it's created and structured allows you to be very multiple, but also be simple in one word in how you communicate because of how it's all tied together. And the genesis from those ideas come from a book called, I've talked about it on the channel, I want to say it's Moonwalking with Einstein. It's about like a guy who goes kind of into that world about memory. Cam. Oh, Cam, man. Welcome to the channel, dog. I can tell you're joining us early because what does it mean to ID the mic and why does it matter? I have a full course, I think maybe my most watched course ever on that. So go check it out. There you go, Coach Greenfield. See, fall into the trap of the RL world. And I've done it too as well, but that's not necessarily how I think you can't really have a robust library of one-word stuff if you can only use R or L words. And I think it gets, alliteration aside, it's not my favorite way to do it. But I've done it many times. I think it works a lot in pass protection as well. Boom. LIV1D question. FYI, I usually try to catch your streams, but I miss them. What can I do to improve my game inside the numbers? How can I get better at winning battles one-on-one down the field? Yeah, dog, I don't really understand what that means. Inside the numbers, like over the middle? I think that there are probably a lot of ways to do it, just from being able to get used to throwing around people, through people, over people, the ability, that kind of pocket movement thing that hopefully you can create with like small groups of quarterbacks or, with some of your peers, to have them kind of like, you see quarterback gurus like go backwards into their quarterbacks to get comfortable throwing in windows and lanes and people at your feet, those types of things. Getting better at winning one-on-one battles down the field. I don't know, dog. It's not really a wide receiver type vibe over here, but there are lots of ways to get better winning one-on-one battles down the field. It is easy, Coach Greenfield. You're right. And sometimes easy's not wrong. C-Dub, what's good? Do me a favor as you guys come in. Hit the like. Leave a comment. Do what you do. JT, hope you're good, my friend. All good out here, dog. No quick thoughts on what you would like to see from Malik Willis in year 2, assuming he gets playing time. Yeah, man. I probably haven't done a good job of like going back and kind of watching Malik Willis from kind of a after the season kind of lens to go back and see what really went wrong, because it sure seems like he had a lot of tools that could have been better used. Now, was it on Todd for how they were doing things, or was, is it on Vrabel? Is it on all of the above? Is it on all of Malik Willis? It's probably some cocktail combination of both. But I would imagine Malik Willis is, working with a really good quarterback trainer to become a lot more efficient and consistent with his release footwork, to allow him to be able to be more consistent just delivering the ball where it's supposed to go, and then coupling that with the learning element of getting better. People always say there's a huge jump from year 1 to year 2. It doesn't matter what you say, it matters what we see on the film. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Boom. There you go, Cam. Next time. Cam, it's not on the Patreon, dog. It's on the YouTube. If you're talking about the mic ID thing, I'm almost positive it's on the YouTube channel. Chris Shepard, if you could pair Caleb Williams with any NFL play caller, who you picking? That's a good question. I would probably go, I think the easy answer is probably Shanahan. I don't know who else are my other choices that would be a good, that you guys would want to see him with. I think he would be great for any play caller. I think every play caller will want Caleb Williams. I'd love to see him with Andy Reid. It's not going to happen. But yeah, I think he'd be great everywhere. I will tell you, the Caleb Williams video that I'm doing, that's going to come out in a couple days, his Notre Dame game. When I tell you that, like, I was sitting here by myself just laughing. I mean, the scramble, the playmaking ability is legitimately hilarious. He's like backpedaling away from people. It looks like how I play with my kids in the front yard. Like, there's no way you're going to get me. Like, ha, 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 ha. Like, I could hear him like chuckling in his helmet. Like, but it's not one play. It's not, every once in a while you see quarterbacks be like, well, that's a crazy play. That's a great play. It's multiple times a quarter he's running around making plays like that. Like, I just don't quite get it. And you couple that with some really cool scheme stuff that, you know, Lincoln Riley USC is doing. Pretty fun. Boom. Oh man, I'm going to butcher this name. I don't even know. I shouldn't even try to pronounce it. I apologize. Ameril? Let's go with AK. Hey JT, what are your thoughts on Seattle possibly drafting a quarterback with the 5th pick to learn behind Geno Smith? Yeah, I love it. I mean, I honestly, and I know that this is not a great answer, specifically if you're like a fan of a team, but because I guess I don't classify myself like that, I just don't think of it as, hey, what's the best fit? Who's going to pick here? You know, obviously the guys at the front of the draft probably don't think they're going to be up at the front of the draft again anytime soon. So if there is ever a time to get a quote unquote like, you know, unique talent, you got to be able to kind of swing your shot or take your shot when you're up there picking in the top 5, because you might never be back there again, or you don't think you're going to be back there again. So yeah, I love Seattle doing that. We'll see if they do. I'd be pissed if I was Geno, but whatever. Oh yeah, Ben Johnson would be a good one. Jordy, I see ya. Fork-tailed devil, P38J. It's a mouthful, homie. JT, I'm a lifer 49er fan. Very cool. In my opinion, Lance is not yet a bust. I don't think he's a bust in anybody's opinion, is he? I mean, he barely played. But Purdy is the truth, in my opinion. You got a lot of opinions. Oh, in my opinion, no system automatically makes quarterbacks. You have to have it. I'm assuming you mean it, not IT, to perform to level Purdy did in any system. Thoughts? My thoughts are you have a lot of opinions. I'm probably going to agree with you on the Trey Lance part of it for sure. The other part of it, and I know, you know, there's a recency bias, okay, that I think everybody has in many areas, in all areas of life almost. You have to like intentionally fight it. But the 49ers gave up, I want to say, and this is just off the top of my head, 3 number 1 draft picks to get up and get Trey Lance. 3. They're going to give him every opportunity to play. And I think they should, because I think his skill set provides a much, you know, the like common phrase is just a much higher ceiling than Brock Purdy. That's no offense, man. Like, it was amazing what Brock Purdy did this year. I could not imagine having to play as a rookie, let alone play on that stage, that team, surrounded by that kind of talent, and play at the level that he did. Spectacular. That being said, you know, do they win the Super Bowl if Purdy stays healthy? You know, I still think that they meaning Kyle, identified a skill set that he wanted. He wanted a dual threat dynamic quarterback. They went up and got one. Just because time has passed, I don't know if that's changed. It hasn't changed for me. I'll tell you that, the straight up truth. If I was calling plays, if I had anything to do with who was playing quarterback on an NFL or any team, would I prefer a guy who's a dual threat that has the potential to be a really good passer as well? Hell yeah. I mean, I shared the video that I watch on the channel. I think it's pretty obvious that the quarterback run game is a really crucial part of high-level football nowadays, and to think otherwise is to be a dinosaur, in my opinion. So yeah, can guys like Purdy, you know, who's not a stiff by any means, but I also don't think he's a dynamic runner. So would I rather have a dynamic runner? Yeah. I'd rather have someone who can do both. So we'll see. You know, if I had to bet, like if I had to say, hey, who's going to be, you know, the better quarterback between Purdy and Trey Lance, I think the early returns are certainly in that it's Purdy, but I still think the skill set that Trey Lance has and that they saw in him is there. You just have to be able to do it. Now, it doesn't matter what I say. If you're never available to be on the field, well then, it's an easy choice. All right. A lot of questions coming in hot. Appreciate everybody coming in. As you come in, hit that like button for me. Keep these streams going. Michael, what's up, my man? Have you considered doing a video on what quarterbacks need to know about the Fangio system defense? No, I'm not. Like defensive system school. I guess I don't think of it as like, I know that it's easy to group defenses into quote unquote families, and I'm guilty of it too, because I'll say like, speak Sabanese or stuff like that. But I really think it's better serving for most quarterbacks to just learn the core principles of kind of universal defense and then worry about kind of the game planny week to week things as kind of one-offs, as opposed to like universal language. Like, I don't really think it does anybody any good to learn the calls of one system when then, you might go to another system. Like I would do that a little bit when I was playing. I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the channel. I'm sure I have. But for instance, when you get like a script for practice, oftentimes you'll get a script for practice like, hey, these are the 15 plays we're running in team. These are the 10 plays we're running in 7-on-7. And you don't have to be a genius to know that the offense play is listed usually on the left and the defensive play is listed on the right. So if I'm only getting 3 reps or 4 reps, you don't think I'm going to look at what the defense is playing? And some of it might be a foreign language to me, but I'm going to learn it pretty quickly. Like, I'm going to learn, hey, they call cover 5 2-man. Well, thanks, I got you. They yell out 5, or I hear them say 5, or I know what the call is because I look across. And some teams try to get cute and only give the offense like the off without the defensive signals. All right, whatever, you want to try that? Well, then I'm going to go to the equipment ball boy and look at his script, and it's got both. So, we're all competitive, but learning like the actual system calls for every single defense, I don't know how much it would help a quarterback. I think it's better to just have a really deep, wide understanding of kind of universal ball, universal defense and rules, and then be able to kind of manipulate it opponent by opponent. Hope that makes sense. Boom. Carolina Pride. If you were Carolina's GM, who would you select number 1? I'm taking Bryce Young. Although, I don't have to give a fucking hedge about it. Coach Greenfield. Coach, I feel like going into the season, I have broken through a bit of a sticking point in my coaching progression. Are there times in your playing coaching journey where you knew you improved? Yeah. I would say there were times in my preparation where I felt like I accelerated faster than normal, if that makes sense. So I remember being in college and we would work out hard in the off season, but and we would work out like as a team, or we'd have workouts. But then one summer I went to like a professional trainer in like the area with a handful of other guys on the team. And the preparation was just much more in depth, much more specific, and I felt like I got significantly faster, stronger, more explosive, etc. Similar things coaching wise. I remember going into it. I only coached high school for 3 years, okay, so it's not very much. But the first year I remember thinking, oh, we're going to do this, and then getting out there and being like, it doesn't matter what I think. We don't have the cats to do some of this stuff, so it doesn't matter. And so then it kind of, after year 1, saying, hey, this is what we are. This is what I think we are, like personnel wise, what we have, where our strengths are potentially. What can we make this? How can we form this into getting the best out of what we have in this program right now? And I think I kind of documented a little bit on Twitter of just, I dove deep into every type of different run game I could possibly get my hands onto. And we kind of came up with a really cool, what I thought was a cool, unique kind of extensive library of different runs that were successful. And kind of lived there. So yeah, and I felt that learning. I felt like, oh, okay, now I have new artillery that I don't think people will have answers to, and then we can kind of shape. So yeah, there were times where I felt like I accelerated the improvement in the off season. Tygate TV, what are your thoughts on the back pedal drop from shotgun as taught by UNC? Phil Lungo, man, he's everywhere. Although he's somewhere else now, isn't he? Wisconsin, maybe. I like the pedal. I don't like it because UNC was doing it. I like it. I've done it. We did it in the league. The Digit system used to teach it. I think it helps your vision. I think it helps you lined up to the left. I think you're smooth in it, or I felt smooth in it. So I usually would give quarterbacks the option to do whatever they felt comfortable with at the high school level. If I was playing, I would want to do the pedal. That's kind of how I frame it when I'm trying to think and teach, how we want to play these plays or how we want to play these reads or progressions. What would I like to do as a player? What's the easiest? Can we teach it? Can he do it? All those types of things. Boom. Again, appreciate you guys coming in. Hit that like button. All good stuff. Chris, I see ya. From a quarterback standpoint, when receiving a call late and rushing to the line of scrimmage, how are you adjusting to the lack of time to make pre-snap adjustments? Are you just trusting the line to set protections on a dime? Chris, so every team is going to be a little bit different. There are certainly certain play callers I was around that struggled to get the play in quickly, and it would drive me straight up bananas. Legit crazy. Do not miss those days. Some teams allow the protections to be set by the center. Some teams rely on the quarterback to ID the mic. Every team is going to be different. Some teams can go kind of in and out of both. Usually the quarterback, no matter what, has kind of the final say. If he wants to override the protection or the call, they usually can, specifically in the protection game for sure. Younger quarterbacks might stay away from that in the run game, but more veteran guys will definitely know where they're supposed to go on damn near every single play. So I think it just depends. I think you can train yourself a little bit for the craziness of not getting the full play call when you're studying for a game plan, like in your preparation, where you can just say, hey, it's a third and medium, all you get is the personnel and the formation. Well, every single week there probably aren't going to be a whole lot of the same call from the same personnel from the same formation. So you could probably be able to, basically you want to get to the point where you can kind of finish the sentence, kind of like with good friends where you can finish each other's sentences. You should kind of be able to finish each other's sentences as far as the play calling for the play caller and the quarterback. It's kind of the easy way to understand it. Oh, we got some Patriots fans in the house. Kyle G. What was it like playing with Calvin? I was only there his rookie year. He was hurt for some of it, I feel like. But he's a freak of freaks. I mean, I remember being in a preseason game with him. He got my first touchdown pass I ever threw, but I think he held out and he showed up for a preseason game. And so I was running with the twos. He was in the two huddle for the preseason game. And Mike Martz, the coordinator, was like, hey, just throw it. I don't care what the read is here. Just throw it 11 feet high to Calvin. And I think I did that 3 times in a row. And it was awesome. So yeah, it's amazing playing with cats like that. 13 Pluck Dud or Pluck TD. Patriots fan here yelling. Not sure how you feel about Mac Jones as a quarterback for the long term. His ability to move out of the pocket is concerning. Okay. I understand Bill once had a pocket passer. Thoughts? Yeah, I don't think my thoughts have necessarily changed about Mac Jones. I think he is exactly what he was at Alabama. I think he's, when surrounded in a good system with, I want to put air quotes up, but I won't today, with a solid offensive staff, and that could put him in a good position to be successful, allows him to play quickly from within the pocket, deliver the ball where he's supposed to on time, and he's healthy. I think he's got the potential to be a good, solid NFL quarterback. Is he going to be a runner, creator, playmaker like some of the other guys at the elite of that conference? No, he never was. I mean, yeah, I don't, as far as what Bill wants or had in the past, yeah, he had the best quarterback to ever do it for 20 years. So, someone told me, well, this is kind of taking a turn, but like, and obviously the Patriots could care less what I think, but how are they not involved in the Lamar thing? Like, that's no knock against Mac Jones. I mean, I guess it's a little knock against Mac Jones, but it would be a knock against 20 quarterbacks in the league. Like, Lamar Jackson improves the roster at the Patriots. Lamar Jackson improves the roster at many teams. I don't know. Like, obviously, those guys know ball better than I do, why they wouldn't do it and what they wouldn't want to give up for it. But to me, those questions are fascinating that I just would be like, hey, you know, how sweet would that be if Lamar Jackson was in New England? I mean, you could say that about 10 spots for Lamar Jackson, more than that. Boom. All right, what else we got here? Again, appreciate y'all coming in. What is a nice little Tuesday? You know, midday, we'll call it. Wherever you're catching this from. Josiah, you can go back and watch it. Don't worry about it. It's all right. Berlissimo, my man, I haven't seen that name in a hot minute. Whole Paul's good. Let's see what you got. Bears fan here. Oh, we know. If you have Justin Fields, are you allowing audibles or kills? Why wouldn't I be allowing audibles or kills? When you do, you restrict them. And why did Nagy have 11 personnel schemes and only one pass option? Are you allowing audibles or kill calls? So, Verlissimo. Also, Jake in the box. I see you, dog. I'm coming to you. You're next. I think it's less about Justin Fields and more about every quarterback has to have the capacity. You want to push their capacity to be able to handle as much as they possibly can, be comfortable, and be able to execute it at a high level. Some guys can carry a lot of volume. Some guys can't. I don't know if Justin Fields is a high volume, low volume guy. That's every quarterback. That's not because one guy's a great athlete, one guy's not. That's not. It's just different strokes for different folks. Some people don't like to change at the line of scrimmage. Some coaches won't let you change at the line of scrimmage. I probably would allow my quarterback to be able to carry the biggest toolbox he can carry. Some guys can't carry a lot. Some guys don't want to carry a lot. Some guys are great with just a hammer or a screwdriver. And so being flexible or adaptive in that approach, I think, is what I would do. We'll see what they do. Where does A-Rod rank all time as talent? Jake in the box. I don't know. I never thought about it. I would say pretty high. I mean, I think that certain guys have certainly won more than he has, but as far as just like the raw ability, you know, he's got to be up there. I don't know. I'm not willing to say like, you know, he's number 4 or he's number 6 or something like that. I don't know. I would say that the top tier, top-ish tier. I feel like that's pretty fair. Oh, my man. What's up, Eric? Fun to see some familiar names in here. I appreciate y'all checking in the off season. Curtis, isn't there intelligence concerns about Lamar? Wonderlic? I don't know what his Wonderlic store is. I mean, the no agents thing to me is, you know, I would say it's a problem, but that's just my opinion. I don't know if that's a intelligence concern. I would say he's pretty intelligent. I mean, pretty good player. I must be missing something. Eric, KJT, why do so many teams seem to not get to the line quick enough, always snapping the ball with under 5 seconds? Yeah, it's a pet peeve of mine, dog. I don't know. I think it's just it's almost like a crutch in the league, because I think when you watch college football or other levels of football, there is significant advantage, in my opinion, about getting to the line of scrimmage quickly, or at least having the capacity to get to the line of scrimmage quickly, like sugar huddles. Really, I have a full course on tempos, right? So I obviously think it's an important part of the game. But I think it's less important about going fast and more important about being able to go the tempo you want, dictating the tempo. In the league, I feel like it's a crutch because the coach can essentially, you know, verbiage, you know, the quarterback's just regurgitating what the coach is saying in your ear. So it's a little bit less important to kind of do the signals and the line of scrimmage, although I always am fascinated that there isn't a team that tries to do that in the league. And I get it would be tough with the turnover of personnel and all those types of things, but I do feel like there is a missed opportunity to incorporate more consistent tempo changes in the league. And I felt that way for 20 fucking years, bro. Like that, until I see someone try to do it and not do it, I won't believe it. Cristiano Costa. I'm going to say Bryce Young. I think I've been saying that. Soj King. I'm sure I didn't say that correctly. Do you think Trevor Lawrence is a Super Bowl contender entering year 3? I mean, I feel like the Jaguars are surging. I think it's hard for me to put anybody as a Super Bowl contender until somebody knocks off, those top 3 quarterbacks in that league, or in that conference. That's just me, though. MMart03 coming in with the hot questions, the ones we need answered. Best brewery in SD, Pacific Beach, or Gaslamp Quarter? RMart03. This is the thing I would like to say so much about this question is I love the fact that you think that I still hit PB. Really, I rarely even hit Gaslamp unless I'm going to a Padre game. I'm that old, bro. I apologize. Probably the only one that I go to a lot is Coronado Brew Co., and that's just because it's on the island. Sorry. There are many people that, this place has been a beer town for a long time, not Coronado, but San Diego. So I'm sure that there are gurus out there. I'm not qualified to answer that, but I appreciate the fact that you think I still do it. Curtis Garldwell, Wonderlick 13. 13 is tough, dog. I'm not going to lie. See, that's why I try to stay away from those tests. Justin Pickney, thoughts on Hendon Hooker? Yeah, I think I've shared a couple of videos on Hendon Hooker. In fact, today I thought about going back and watching more Hendon Hooker. I think that there's a lot to like with Hendon Hooker off the top of my head. Again, I feel like I say this all the time when I deal with that offense, what I call like the deep choice offense, Browse offense. I think it's harder to project for me for a few different reasons. One is because I have no experience in that offense. Like I'm essentially learning from like online clinics and people that have been in the system. So I feel like I'm not quite as confident in my understanding of the reads, of the footwork. And so when I see them do things that I think translate to the league, I'm not sure if they're just like, not lucking into it, but just doing their system. And that, in my opinion, that system is going to struggle in the league because you're just not going to allow guys to make deep down the field decisions about where they're running and have all that kind of time and space to be able to distribute the ball. That being said, I think that there is a skill set that Hendon Hooker shows that definitely projects to being able to be successful on Sunday. I'm not sure that I feel, round 1 confident of that, but I certainly feel like he's going to get drafted high-ish, and hopefully he recovers and is able to kind of come out of the gates smoking with its NFL career. C-Dub, did you play baseball growing up? Oh, yeah. Did it help your quarterback game in any ways? I'm sure it did. Let me see. I think the easy way to think about it is like the off-platform throws, just throwing. I'm a big believer, and I've heard people articulate this better than I will, but this is just as important for baseball and pitching as it is for quarterbacks. Sometimes I feel like young players need less training and more just throwing. And I feel like that's the same way with pitching as it is with playing quarterback. Like less, intentional focus practice that you would do like as a pro, and more just like throwing a ball against a wall, playing catch, playing long toss, going out, throwing the ball, to me is as helpful as some of those other things, depending on what age you're at, where you are in your kind of preparation and cycle to get ready to play. So yeah. Look at Curtis kissing up. 35 I actually don't think is that great either. I think it's at a 50. It is a time test though, if I remember correctly. Ace Productions. I see you with the Aaron Rodgers comments. I don't have any hot takes other than the fact that I was probably going to go back and rewatch some of Aaron's last couple games in Green Bay, at some point this offseason. to get a better understanding, but I don't know, man. I feel like I might be the only one, but I'm just tired of that story, the whole thing. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I will not be tired of it after the draft, but right now I am. Cameron, hey JT, I was wondering what you think about the Lamar situation. Yeah, I feel like I've talked about it on these lives a few times, but I'll circle back through it. And I touched on it a little bit already with the New England Mac Jones thing. You know, I don't really understand. Well, I do understand why it's happening. It's happening because these owners, in my opinion, are colluding to not want to give guaranteed money. That's just my opinion. Because if it was just the football, the fact that you could get a in his mid-20s, former MVP, dynamic, one of the most dynamic athletes that's ever played the position, as your franchise quarterback for the next half a decade, you know, it seems pretty simple. Like I would give up 2 first picks. I you know, some of those first picks, you know, in the 20s, depending on where you're picking, you know, I don't know why. I know why, and why Lamar Jackson is not getting all these opportunities. I think it's complicated. He's unnecessarily complicated it himself by becoming his own agent, in my opinion, and lost a lot of money already. I want Lamar Jackson to get paid. I want Lamar Jackson to be in a situation that wants him, that he could thrive in. I think there are a number of those situations available to him, and hopefully he gets his money. Boom. C-Dub, wing T breakdown someday. No. The waggle. Josiah Reed, I know you came in hot because you already told me that you came in late, but I will give you a little teaser. Caleb Williams, probably, what is today? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday video. Caleb Williams versus Notre Dame, and it is a eye-popping video for sure. For sure. Forktail Devil P385 out. Me too, dog. Appreciate it. Thanks so much for you guys for hanging out. That was a fun one. I'll see you on the other side. Boo!